Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, like you're stuck in the background of your own life? You wake up, do what's expected, and go to bed, only to repeat the same routine the next day. Somewhere along the way, you stop being the main character of your own story. Maybe you never even realized you handed over the script to someone else. But let me tell you something, this life is yours. No one else is coming to write your story, to rescue you, or to give you permission to step into the role you were meant to play. That part is on you, and today is the day you take it back. The world doesn't owe you the lead role. If you're waiting for someone to hand it to you, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, most people are just extras in their own lives, watching, waiting, reacting instead of acting. But not you, not anymore. Today is the moment everything changes. This is your turning point. Because the second you decide to step up, take control, and rewrite your story, the entire trajectory of your life shifts. There is no more time to waste. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more hoping that one day things will magically fall into place. That day is today. Your movie is rolling. The only question left is this: are you finally ready to step into the spotlight? You might not even realize it, but you've been playing small. Maybe you tell yourself you're just being realistic, that you don't want to risk failure, that staying where you are feels safe. But let's be honest, you're not playing it safe. You're just afraid of stepping into something bigger, afraid of what people will think, afraid that if you go all in, you might fail. And so you shrink yourself. You tell yourself a story about why you can't. You settle for what's comfortable, even when it's unfulfilling. You sit on the sidelines and watch others live the kind of life you secretly wish you had. And you convince yourself that this is just how it is. But what if I told you that comfort is the biggest illusion of all? What if I told you that staying where you are, doing the same thing over and over, is actually the riskiest move you could ever make? Because life isn't going to wait for you. Time keeps moving whether you take action or not. And if you don't decide to take control, life will decide for you. It's easy to tell yourself that playing it safe means avoiding failure. But the truth is, playing small guarantees failure. It guarantees regret. It guarantees a life of wondering what could have been if you had just gone for it. The hardest truth to accept is that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to show up and suddenly make everything easier. No one is going to hand you success, confidence, or the life you want. And that is the best news you could ever hear. Because it means you don't have to wait for permission. It means you don't have to depend on anyone else. It means you have all the power. You don't need a hero. You are the hero. The problem is, you've been seeing yourself as the side character for so long that you've forgotten what you're truly capable of. Think about any great story, any movie you've ever been inspired by. The main character doesn't sit around waiting for things to happen. They don't let life just happen to them. They make choices. They take risks. They step up, even when they don't feel ready. They don't let fear decide their future. And when things get hard, they don't quit. They rise. That's what separates them from everyone else. And that's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for less than they're capable of. This is your wake-up call. You are not an extra. You are not a side character. You are the lead. And it's time to start acting like it. That means making the decision right now to take control, to stop waiting, to stop hesitating, to stop doubting. It means choosing to step into the unknown even when it's scary. It means refusing to accept anything less than the life you were meant to live. Because if you don't make that choice, if you don't step up, then you are choosing to stay stuck. And that is the real failure. You have a choice to make. Keep playing small, keep waiting, keep letting fear decide for you, or step up, take the lead, and finally start living the way you were meant to. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more watching from the sidelines. It's time. The question is, will you take it? You think you're playing it safe, but what you're really doing is playing small. You tell yourself you're just being cautious, just waiting for the right moment, just making sure everything is lined up before you take the leap. But deep down, you know the truth. You're holding back. You're shrinking yourself. You're staying in the background because it feels easier than stepping forward and risking failure. Maybe you don't even realize you're doing it. Maybe it's been happening for so long that it just feels normal. You take the easy road. You avoid discomfort. You let opportunities pass by because stepping up feels too risky. But let me tell you something. The real risk isn't stepping up. The real risk is staying where you are and looking back years from now, realizing you never really lived. Fear has been running the show. Fear of failure. Fear of what people will say. Fear of stepping outside the role you've been assigned. Maybe you grew up being told to stay quiet, to be practical, to follow the rules. Maybe life knocked you down a few times and now you're scared to try again. Maybe the world made you believe that some people are just meant to succeed and others are meant to watch. But that's a lie. The truth is, you've been conditioned to play small. Society doesn't teach people to take the lead. It teaches them to blend in, to follow the crowd, to stay in line and not make waves. And so you go along with it. You stay in the background, waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. But no one is coming to save you. No one is going to walk up and say, here's your moment, here's your permission to be great. That's not how life works. The lead role isn't handed out, it's claimed. You don't get to sit back and wait for your life to change. You have to make it change. You have to stop waiting for a perfect moment and start creating one. You have to take radical ownership of your story. No more blaming circumstances. No more waiting for someone else to believe in you first. No more hoping that one day somehow things will just fall into place. Look at the people who succeed, who break barriers, who change their lives. Do you think they got there by waiting, by playing it safe, by staying in the background, hoping someone would notice them? No, they made a decision. They decided that fear wouldn't control them. They took action before they felt ready. They stepped into the unknown even when they were terrified. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is simple. Dreamers wait, achievers move. Dreamers talk about what they want, achievers work for it. Dreamers let fear stop them. Achievers feel fear and do it anyway. Your life is a movie. The question is, are you in the audience or are you on the screen? Are you watching from the sidelines, cheering for others while your own dreams collect dust? Or are you stepping up, taking risks, making bold moves? Because if you don't start acting like the main character, your story will never change. You have a script in your hands, and every day you get to decide what happens next. Will you keep playing small, or will you finally take center stage? The story you tell yourself shapes everything. Every thought, every belief, every excuse you make becomes the script you follow. And if you're telling yourself the wrong story, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even begin. Maybe you've convinced yourself that success is only for other people. Maybe you believe you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not lucky enough. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you don't have time, that life is too hard, that no matter what you do, things won't change. These thoughts aren't just harmless ideas. They are chains. They keep you stuck in the same place, repeating the same patterns, living the same story over and over. But what if you flipped the script? What if instead of saying, I can't, you started asking, how can I? What if instead of assuming failure, you look for solutions? Your words and thoughts shape your reality. When you tell yourself you're not good enough, you stop trying. When you tell yourself you don't have time, you never make time. But when you start shifting your thoughts, even in small ways, you open new doors. Instead of saying, I'm not ready, try, I'm getting ready. Instead of saying, I don't have the skills, try, I'm learning the skills. That one small shift in language makes all the difference. Your story isn't set in stone. You're not stuck in one role forever. Every great movie has plot twists. Every great story has moments where the main character rises up, takes control, and changes the game. You can do the same. You don't have to accept the script you've been handed. You don't have to live by the limits someone else put on you. You are the author of your life. You decide what happens next. The problem is, most people act like a character in someone else's story, following a path they didn't choose, living a life that doesn't inspire them. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can change the plot. You can break out of the role you've been playing and start creating a new future, one that excites you instead of holding you back. Close your eyes for a second and imagine your life 5 years from now. If you could rewrite your story completely, what would it look like? Where would you live? What kind of work would you be doing? How would you feel waking up every morning? Too often people say they want a better life, but never take the time to define what that actually means. If you don't know where you're going, how will you ever get there? So grab a piece of paper right now and start writing your next chapter. Be specific. Write it down as if it's already happening. I live in a beautiful home. I wake up excited for my day. I'm surrounded by people who inspire me. I am confident, strong, and unstoppable. The more clearly you can see it, the more real it becomes. Your story is in your hands. The only question is, are you ready to write a new one? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What excites you? If you don't know, you need to start figuring it out now. Because without a real reason to push forward, life starts feeling like an endless loop. Wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. That's why so many people feel stuck. They're moving, but they're not going anywhere. Your why is the fuel that keeps you going when you don't feel like it, when things get hard, when motivation fades. Without it, you'll quit at the first sign of struggle. But when you have a reason so strong that failure isn't an option, nothing can stop you. Think about the people who achieve incredible things. They aren't just lucky. They have something inside them that won't let them quit. They don't just want success, they need it. They have a fire inside them that refuses to burn out. That's the difference between drifting and driving. If you don't know where you're going, life will pull you in 100 different directions. You'll chase whatever feels easy, whatever seems safe. But if you have a mission, you move with purpose. You make decisions that align with where you want to go. You stop letting distractions and doubts pull you off course. If your life ended today, would you be satisfied with what you've done? Would you feel like you gave it your all, or would you be haunted by the things you never even tried? The biggest regrets don't come from the things we fail at. They come from the things we never had the courage to start. Think back to a time when you hesitated, when you let fear or doubt hold you back. What's one thing you wish you had done sooner? Now ask yourself, why are you still waiting? Reflection is powerful, but action is what rewrites your story. Pick one thing today that moves you toward your mission. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. Just start, because waiting for the right time is the fastest way to waste your life. Small steps lead to big results, but only if you take them. Stop overthinking. Stop doubting yourself. Your mission isn't found in endless planning or wishful thinking. It's found in doing. So take the first step now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, confidence isn't something some people are just born with. It's built piece by piece through choices and actions. If you've been waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Confidence doesn't show up first, it follows effort. The more you step up, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. It's time to stop standing on the sidelines, waiting for some magical moment when you suddenly feel brave. That moment isn't coming. Confidence is earned, and you have to go out and build it. Society tells you confidence is reserved for the talented, the lucky, or the extroverted. That's false. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a skill. The people who seem naturally confident weren't born that way. They just kept showing up, failing, learning, and trying again. The world has tricked you into thinking you need to be fearless before you take action. But the truth is, action comes first. Fear fades when you prove to yourself that you can handle the challenge. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent. It's the willingness to step forward even when they don't feel ready. Every time you say you'll do something and follow through, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. That's how confidence is built, one small promise at a time. Think about it. If a friend constantly let you down, you'd stop trusting them. The same applies to you. If you constantly break promises to yourself, your brain learns that your word means nothing. That's why most people struggle with confidence. It's not that they aren't capable, it's that they don't trust themselves to do what they say they will. But the opposite is also true. Each time you follow through, no matter how small, you reinforce a sense of trust. Wake up when you say you will. Go to the gym when you plan to. Speak up in that meeting. Keep stacking those small wins and watch your confidence grow. Close your eyes. Picture your most confident self. How do you move? How do you speak? How do you act? Now open your eyes and start embodying that version of you today. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. That's why visualization is so powerful. Top athletes, successful leaders, and performers all use it. They see themselves succeeding before they ever step onto the stage. When you visualize yourself as strong, capable, and unshakable, your brain starts to believe it. This isn't daydreaming. It's training your mind to expect success. The more you see it, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you're not just imagining confidence, you're living it. Confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about trust in yourself. If you don't take yourself seriously, why should anyone else? People treat you based on the energy you put out. If you walk into a room like you don't belong, no one will question it. But if you own your space, people will respect it. That starts with belief. Own your strengths. Step up. Claim the space you deserve. The world won't hand you confidence, but it will respond to the way you carry yourself. When you start believing in yourself, everything changes. Confidence isn't given, it's built. And starting now, you are building yours. Look around at the people you spend the most time with. Their habits, attitudes, and mindset are shaping you in ways you might not even realize. If you're surrounded by people who complain, doubt, and settle, you'll slowly absorb that energy. If you spend time with people who chase goals, push limits, and refuse to quit, you'll start thinking and acting like them. This isn't just a theory, it's reality. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. The right environment lifts you higher, the wrong one keeps you stuck. If you want to reach a new level, you need to be intentional about the people around you. Every person in your life plays a role. Some push you forward, others hold you back. Ask yourself, who are you listening to? Who are you taking advice from? Are these people helping you grow, or are they keeping you comfortable? Comfort feels good in the moment, but it's the enemy of progress. The hard truth is, some friendships feel familiar, but they're not helping you. Maybe you have people in your life who always talk about what they want to do, but never take action. Maybe you have friends who pull you into negativity, gossip, or distractions. It's time to be honest. If the people around you aren't challenging you, pushing you, or making you better, they're holding you back. Not everyone you started with can come with you. That's the part nobody likes to talk about. When you decide to grow, some people will resist. They'll tell you you've changed, that you're being selfish, that you're leaving them behind, and you know what? They're right. You are changing, you are moving forward, and not everyone will understand that. Some people will support you, others will try to keep you where they are. This is where you have to make a choice. Do you shrink yourself to keep everyone comfortable, or do you step up and go after what you want? Growth requires sacrifice. It means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It's not about cutting people off with anger, it's about making space for the ones who truly belong in your next chapter. Take a moment right now and think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they helping you become the person you want to be? If not, it's time to shift your circle. Seek out those who inspire, challenge, and encourage you. Spend time with people who make you think bigger, work harder, and believe in yourself more. The right people will push you higher than you ever thought possible. The wrong ones will keep you exactly where you are. The choice is yours. Every great story has struggle. Think of any movie you love. The hero faces setbacks, obstacles, and moments where everything seems lost. But what makes them a hero? They keep going. They don't stop when things get hard. They don't sit back and say this isn't fair. They push through. The same applies to your life. Your struggles aren't the end of your story. They're just the middle. The tension before the breakthrough. The challenge before the victory. If you're facing obstacles right now, that's a sign you're on the right path. Growth only happens when you're tested. So don't run from challenges. Embrace them. Excuses will keep you exactly where you are. They're the reason so many people stay stuck, waiting for the right time, the perfect situation, or better circumstances. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. There is no magic moment when everything lines up. There are only 2 kinds of people, those who say, I can't because, and those who say, I will despite. The first group stays stuck. The second group moves forward. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones with fewer problems. They're the ones who refuse to let their problems be an excuse. They take action anyway. They rewrite their inner dialogue. Instead of saying, I don't have time, they say, I'll make time. Instead of I'm not ready, they say, I'll figure it out as I go. That shift in mindset changes everything. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need to decide that no excuse is stronger than your desire to succeed. Failure is not the end. It's feedback. Every setback is a lesson. Every mistake is a stepping stone. But most people don't see it that way. They hit a roadblock and take it as a sign to stop. They think one failed attempt means they're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. That's not true. The most successful people in history have all failed. Big. The difference. They didn't let failure define them. They learned from it. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon. The pattern is clear. The best main characters don't quit when things go wrong. They adjust, grow, and come back stronger. You can do the same. When you fail, don't ask, why me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Then get back up and keep moving. Every hero has a turning point. The moment where they almost give up, where everything in them says, this is too hard. But then they make a choice. They decide to rise. This is your moment. Right now you have 2 options. You can stay where you are, let the setbacks define you, and watch your story end here. Or, you can take a deep breath, step forward, and step into your next chapter with courage. The choice is yours. What kind of story do you want to tell? Have you ever felt like you're waiting for the right moment? Like success is just out of reach, always dependent on something you don't have yet? More time, more confidence, more motivation. The truth is, waiting doesn't bring results, action does. Small daily choices shape your future far more than any single big decision ever will. And that's what today is about, understanding the power of taking small steps consistently, knowing that every action you take builds towards something greater. This isn't about empty inspiration. It's about real, practical steps that can change your life. If you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're ready to see progress, then listen closely, because the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. It's what they do every single day. Motivation is a trap. It feels great when it's there, but it's unreliable. Some days you wake up inspired and ready to go. Other days you don't feel like doing anything. That's normal. But here's the difference between successful people and everyone else. They take action anyway. They don't wait to feel motivated. They show up, they put in the work, they build discipline, because discipline wins every time. Think about it. If athletes only trained when they felt like it, they wouldn't win championships. If musicians only practiced when they were in the mood, they wouldn't master their craft. If you only work toward your goals when you're excited, you'll never see real progress. The secret? Set a routine and stick to it, no matter what, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. Because when you show up for yourself consistently, success isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Big results don't come from big changes. They come from tiny, consistent improvements. Imagine getting just 1% better every day. That doesn't sound like much, but over time it adds up. One extra push-up, one healthier meal, one extra page read, one small step forward. These little choices might seem insignificant in the moment, but they build momentum. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't about one massive leap, it's about stacking small wins every single day. Look at any great athlete, entrepreneur, or artist. They didn't wake up one day at the top. They built habits. They improved a little each day until those small improvements became unstoppable progress. So ask yourself, what's one small action you can take today that moves you forward? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because that's how real success happens, one step at a time. Talk is cheap. You can set goals, make plans, and dream big, but none of it matters unless you take action. So here's a challenge for the next 30 days. Pick one action that pushes you forward, just one, and do it every single day. No skipping, no excuses. Want to get in shape? Do 10 push-ups daily. Want to write a book? Write one page every day. Want to grow a business? Reach out to one new person daily. It doesn't have to be huge, it just has to be consistent. Because success isn't about dramatic gestures, it's built in the quiet moments of showing up when no one's watching. This is your chance to prove to yourself that you can commit, that you have the discipline, that you're done waiting and ready to take control. The question is, will you take it? Every day you hesitate, you lose time. The clock is ticking and your story is unfolding whether you like it or not. Life doesn't pause while you wait to feel ready. Right now, at this very moment, your movie is rolling. Are you taking action, or are you watching from the sidelines waiting for something to change on its own? The most successful people aren't the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones who step up, take risks, and start moving, no matter how small the first step is. So stop wasting time. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. This isn't practice. This isn't a warm-up. This is it. Your life is happening right now. And every moment you spend waiting is a moment you won't get back. No more excuses. No more hesitation. You don't need permission. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Because if you don't, you'll look back years from now and wonder what could have been. But if you do, if you take action today, right now in this moment, you'll look back and know that this was the turning point. The day you stopped waiting and started living. Say it out loud. I am the main character. Again, louder. Because the moment you believe it, your actions will reflect it. Main characters don't wait for someone else to save them. They don't sit around hoping things will change. They make decisions. They take action. They take control. And you are the main character of your story. So act like it. Start making choices that move you forward. Start showing up like the person you want to become. Because once you believe it, nothing can stop you. The credits haven't rolled yet. Your story isn't over. And that means you still have time to change the ending. You still have time to take control, rewrite your path, and step into the life you deserve. But it starts with one bold step today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. So what will it be? Will you stay in the background watching life pass you by? Or will you step into the spotlight and own your story? The choice is yours.